week.
Real quick, think about that. So going down 24% is actually larger than 24% of the actual real viewership, right? Because if you go down 24%, you're at 75%. You go up 4% again, or 25% again, you don't go back up to 100, right? Like, that's just math. So really, this was like a third. Like, 1 in every 3 viewers wasn't real. Oh my God. We mathin' now? Yeah. We're gonna be mathin' later.
With many big streamers suddenly losing thousands of viewers. Not just big streamers, streamers
Not
of all...
following that logic? Okay, sure. All right, so let me go ahead and take you through this, all right? So if you have a total amount... Okay. So this is really... We need to get rid of schools, bro. Like, they're not working. They're not working. Like, they're not working, obviously, right? And so, anyway, so if you take and you look at this, 24% is basically half, right? Or a quarter. So if you remove this 24%, all right? I actually, you know what? If you can't understand what I'm saying, you're fucking retarded. I'm not going to explain it to you. Go back to 8th grade.
Shapes and sizes lost tons and tons of viewers, like, across the board. It was a pretty big purge of invalid traffic, bot activity. As I said a couple days ago, I was pretty surprised with how hard they hit the ground running here. I thought it would just be like lightly poking the bear, like, oh, we got rid of like 100 bots. Big W, Twitch is saved. But no, they kind of like, they dropped a bomb here. It was a pretty big deal. So big, in fact, that a lot of streamers many suspected of being a view botter had just decided not to stream for like...
The roaches went to scatter. They were afraid, bro. They didn't want to show their faces. They didn't want anybody to know what they were doing. Yep.
The last week or so, inexplicably, just randomly deciding not to stream during the bot purge, which of course has everyone raising an eyebrow.
Yeah.
And of course all of this has led to a lot of finger pointing,
That's right.
a lot of shit stirring, a lot of spitting, a lot of farting and coming. It's been kind of pandemonium in the streaming space, as people are noticing view counts have been dropped from a lot of streamers.
Oh yeah.
And in some cases, drastically.
Big ones.
So the natural conclusion people are drawing is they were view botting.
Right.
And as I predicted, and as everyone predicted, nobody wants to own up to being privy to their channel being view botted, because that's against the rules. They would get banned. No one's ever going to admit to it.
Not necessarily. So this is a little bit of a nuance, and he knows this. It's a little nuance, actually. You can say that you're being view botted, but you just can't be doing it yourself. That's the problem. Because like if you did, like if somebody goes from 10,000 viewers to 100,000 viewers in 1 minute, obviously they're being view botted. So if this person says, I'm being view botted, does this person get banned? No, of course not, right? So the problem is that a lot of people enjoyed the popularity that they got from view botting, and they didn't want to say it, and maybe they didn't know whether it was view botting or not, really, because they weren't doing it. I think that there were a lot of people that were doing it themselves, and I think that especially in terms of mid-size and small-size streamers, I think that there was a lot of very soft view botting. And, like, you know, because it's like if you're a small streamer, it matters a lot more for you to do that. Obviously, it does. So, yes, but Tectone is culprit. Well, I mean, there's a lot of people that were view botting, right? That's it. Sadly, not many real viewers are not being counted at the moment. Yes, and so Twitch is A/B testing. I personally think, this is my opinion, this is maybe a little bit of ego, I personally think that one of the reasons why, like, I had a little bit of a drop is because a lot of my viewers are actually non-account viewers. Like, they don't make accounts, and they watch me because I'm on YouTube. And so I think that there's a lot of people that were watching me that now they're not being counted because they're lurkers that just watch on a TV. Like, that's it. Because that's always how it's been, right? That's always how it's been happening. And so clanking, exactly, yes. And so, like, they never chat, they don't even have accounts. And the reason why is that what's unique about me is that you've always been able to watch this stream with no ads. There's never been any ads on my channel. And because of that, you have, you know, really no reason to make an account on Twitch to watch me.
So it's been a lot of cope and a lot of excuses.
But like, again, I don't really think about this a lot. I mean, the last 2 months, I mean, I'm gonna be real. Like, my dad's been in the hospital fucking twice. I'm having to take off days constantly to help him. I have to cut my days short in order to do that too. That takes, and I'm gonna be honest, right? I don't talk about this a lot, but it's a little stressful, you know? I'm just a little bit stressed out every once in a while about it. And so, anyway, I tried to put that aside whenever we're doing the show, because nobody wants to fucking hear about all my problems. But at the same time, it does exist. And so, anyway, I think that's negatively affected a little bit of my content, and I've had to cut down my hours a lot. And in order to do that, that's life. Life happens, and that's the way it is. But the problem is that a lot of other people just, they cannot fucking deal with it, bro. They cannot deal with it, and...
Elevate your sleep game with Ashley's new lineup of mattresses. Indulge in the eco-friendly Serta iComfort Eco. Relax on Purple's Gel Flex Grid. Or keep your cool on the Temper Breeze collection. Experience the ultimate in sleep luxury at Ashley today.
I put curing hepatitis C on my today list.
Epclusa treats all types of chronic hepatitis C with a 98% cure rate. Epclusa is one pill, once a day, for 12 weeks. If you've had hepatitis B, it may flare up and cause serious liver problems during and after treatment. Tell your doctor if you've had hepatitis B, liver or kidney problems, HIV, and all medicines and supplements you take. Taking amiodarone with Epclusa may cause a serious slowing of your heart rate. Most common side effects include headache and tiredness. Ask your doctor about Epclusa today.
You a bitch. You a bitch. I mean, that's all there is to it.
It's like, oh, it must have just been this stranger over here that's been doing this, and I had no fucking clue. I'm glad that it's getting solved.
Sure.
Everyone is talking about this as a positive thing. Meanwhile, in the background, there are people that no doubt are shaking their fist in anger in demanding that their botting service get it under control and fix it, because they need those viewer numbers to go back to where they were. Because obviously, if it doesn't,
they are defrauding sponsors intentionally by selling them fake fucking viewership.
People are going to be aware there was some fraudulent activity there, and the only question remains, did the streamer know? Like, were they guilty of paying for the service themselves, or was it like an org they were affiliated with? Because according to a lot of the data, all of which is public, by the way, you can see all of the viewer numbers, post and pre-purge. All of this is public, so you can see...
No names, no names. Don't say the names of the people that were doing it. We all know who was doing it. We don't need to say the names. Everybody knows the names.
A lot of streamers that are affiliated with an org like OTK is the big one everyone's talked about. But not just OTK, there were other orgs coming under fire as well. Namely, FaZe was another one that people had a lot of question marks over their head with, because a lot of the streamers affiliated with FaZe also took huge drastic drops in their viewership during this purge.
Yes.
So the speculation is that these orgs are boosting the numbers of some of the streamers under their umbrella, because by having more success...
Again, logically, what he's saying makes sense. It does not mean that it's true. But if you assume that they are acting in self-interest and they are behaving amorally, you could predict this outcome.
Successful streamers under their brand, it's good for the brand. Obviously, the motivation is to
Which
make
OTK member? Bruce, drop them off.
more money, because you can make significantly more doubloons if the streamers that are under your blanket are more popular. So if you boost your streamers by thousands of...
Whatever happened to Bruce? I miss Bruce. Even though Bruce hated white people, I thought I liked Bruce. I always got along with Bruce. I thought he was funny. That's fine. Yeah, whatever happened? He got dropped off? Yeah, what the hell? He's a shit-talking idiot. He has been, but he's also funny, man. He's a funny guy. I like him, man.
Thousands of viewers that they don't legitimately have, you can still bring those numbers to brands that would be none the wiser in the partnership.
Exactly, true.
And according to some other streamers, there's been actually quite a bit of talk from streamers about orgs even like softly admitting to doing this in certain cases.
Really?
I don't know like all the particulars around that, but there has been like a lot of discussion that orgs do actually do this. Like, it's not just a full-blown
literal roach behavior that kills the platform, by the way. Literal pulling the ladder up roach behavior, dog shit behavior.
conspiracy theory, but then the question becomes, well, do the streamers under these orgs know about that? Like, there's just a lot of questions now after all of this bot detection and all of this bot purging. It's been a flood of questions, like Yahoo Answers just got revived.
Oh,
did
I remember
the
that.
streamers view bot
How
themselves?
is Babby
Was it a
formed?
member of their community view botting the streamer? Did the streamer, are they a victim of like a stranger, a malicious bad actor trying to artificially
Well, it's
boost?
simple to answer the question. Do you like the streamer? If the answer is yes, then they've been maliciously botted by a third party. If you don't like the streamer, I am so glad that this view botting piece of shit has been exposed. He's been doing this for years, and now everybody can see him for what he truly is.
Their numbers to potentially ruin their reputation. Is there a super fan of the streamer that's trying to boost their favorite streamer to make them more popular because they just love them so much?
Yeah.
Does the streamer know that the org they're affiliated with might be boosting their numbers? Just so many questions. And another big discussion that's come from all of this is about sponsors. Allegedly, some sponsors have been botting sponsored streams in order to make it seem more popular to the average viewer. So they'll
Let me consult the chart. Where's my chart? This is the chart. This is the company. This is the advertising agency. And this is the streamer. You can go back. This is go back. I have a chart. I've already made a chart for this. That's how real it is.
Download Arknights now to receive tons of rewards. New players enjoy a free 10 roll with a guaranteed 6-star operator. Plus, use the gifted voucher to obtain a 5-star operator of your choice. Arknights, a tower defense game that combines anime art style and strategic gameplay. A game with exquisite anime arts, challenging strategic mechanics, and top-tier tower defense gameplay. What are you waiting for? Download Arknights today.
We ran a promotion cutting the price of Mint Unlimited in half, and it was so popular, we're doing it again. It's like a sequel that's actually as good as the original. Maybe better. Definitely not worse. Okay, it's exactly the same.
artificially boost those numbers so it seems like there's more hype around the product, and they've also been accused of botting even beyond sponsored streams because by being partnered with that streamer...
Queso? Don't say Queso. Queso is not botting. He's not a botter. Stop. Stop. You can say the name of anybody else, but you can't say Queso. He's not a botter.
Better for their brand if that streamer is perceived as more popular. So they'll boost them even beyond the sponsored stream, just so that way they can use it as marketing material, like, hey look, we're partnered with this big guy. And meanwhile, a lot of the viewership is botted by the sponsor, allegedly.
Yes, basically, and I think Charlie knows a lot about this because he runs his own esports org. He's done multiple sponsors. He's been on both sides of this, so he understands this, and he might not want to take you behind and show you how the chicken is made. I'll show you how the fucking chicken's made. This is how it happens. You have the company that pays an advertising agency. The advertising agency pays a fucking talent agency. The talent agency pays the streamer. The advertising agency bots the talent agency's stream, and then they make it look like to the company that the sponsor did really well. And so, but it's actually just embedding. And so basically, it is a long list of malicious compliance. That's it. Malicious and disingenuous compliance. Too many middlemen? Yes, exactly. And the thing is that it's all because these are like, so there's 4 parties involved. Always 3, sometimes 4. There are 4 parties involved. Each contract is between 2 parties. So nobody is getting the full picture of this. But because obviously I've been in every fucking level of this, and I think Charlie has too, he knows this. Let me tell you something. Can I No, I can't. I can't reveal this. I apologize. I cannot reveal this information. But let me tell you something. Streams are not a good way of investing your money if you're an advertiser. If you're an advertiser, there's a lot of better ways to invest your money. Will this bubble eventually pop? What if I told you it already has? So 2 years ago, 3 years ago, like, people were getting paid $100,000 to just play a video game for an hour, and they had like 10,000 viewers, and there was no other expectation of them at all. Like, it was literally just fucking, it was a free money, like literal fucking free money. This was happening. That's fucking crazy. Isn't that disgusting? And so anyway, companies then, but the problem is that companies were new to the online space because many companies moved from the traditional media space to the online space because of COVID and them having to allocate their marketing budgets. But after they had a couple of years of data and telemetry that they could use to figure out, like, are we actually making our money back here? They realized that, nope, Aruskis, we're definitely not. And so now you have way less paying, way less paying.
Also want to mention that in only 2 days here, it seems that there are some botting services that have already found ways of circumventing these bans. There are some streamers that have miraculously bounced back after a 3-day plummet to not only where they were, but in some cases even higher.
Wow.
Despite nothing changing in their content.
Rising like a phoenix, reborn from the ashes. Who would do that? I'm not going to say the name of the person who had Tectone.
When you've got smoke-free satisfaction, you've got the freedom to do things your way. Get $20 off 5 cans of Zyn when you take the Zyn 10 challenge. Try it for 10 days. Smoke-free. Hands-free.
It's crazy, right? I don't think it was him doing it, but it's crazy that he ended up getting 14,000 viewers. Yeah, that's crazy. That's my boy, by the way. But I think even he knows that.
Doing nothing different. So it does look like in certain cases, some bots have found a way to evade this. So I'm hoping this isn't Twitch's only action here against bots, because as I mentioned, it's going to be an ongoing tug of war.
Who's that, Lacey?
And it is good for the entire platform.
Didn't XQC call Lacey fat? We gotta watch that clip after this. I forgot about that.
To do your best to stop bot activity. Fake, phony, baloney numbers are bad for all of the streamers on the platform, except for, of course, the ones that are paying to win in the streaming space.
No, it's not even good for them, because in the long run, sponsors will stop paying them money because they won't get the rate of return. That's why sponsors, like, again, if you are a marketing agency, like, again, if you don't know, by the way, if you're running marketing and you have a $10+ million campaign, you don't know what to do with $10 million, just message me. I'll tell you what to do with it. I sort it out for you.
Which is another thing. There is a very real possibility, and something that has been talked about by some of the biggest streamers, that a strategy that used to be used and is probably still employed to a certain degree is some streamers would bot their streams for a while to try and grow an organic viewer base, and then they would completely stop paying for the botting service and just...
So this happened to a New World streamer. So there was a New World streamer who did this, and I called him out, and I brought him in voice chat, and he said, of course I'm going to viewbot. Everybody else is viewbotting, and I've got to do it to stay ahead of them. It wasn't F Extra Life. It was not F Extra Life. And I said, okay. I said, but this is what's happening. He's like, yeah, this is what's happening. And he was embedding, to be fair. He was not viewbotting, which it's functionally the same thing, but it's not. The New World expansion comes out. Embedding is removed. He's the #1 stream. He faked it until he made it. That's inspiring. You cheat to win. That's what they say. ABC, always be cheating.
let the organic numbers start to take over as more people assimilate to the community. So, of course, this is never going to detect that strategy, but even still,
of course it will.
Twitch needs to do everything it can to stop bots, because it is very bad for everyone on the platform to just let this rampant issue continue and spiral out of control. Now, I think I need to explain why I have this perspective, and so many people have this perspective, because I've seen a lot of people downplaying this as, like, not a big deal, like, this is a fucking nothing burger.
Yeah.
Who cares about view counts? If you can pay for it, you should do it. It gives you the advantage in the space. You gotta stand out in the market, so if you can do anything to get an edge, you gotta fucking do it. And, yeah, you're right, it's a saturated market, so obviously buying view bots is going to immediately help you stand out by floating to the top of a category, so that way
if you are in a boxing match and you bring a gun into the boxing ring and you shoot the guy that you're going to be boxing with the gun, it will make it easier for you to win the match. But I think that we can all agree also that this is unsportsmanly behavior. This is not sportsmanship. Don't tell Raja that.
Georges will see you at the front there, and they'll click because you got the most viewers, so obviously there's a lot of hubbub there, and they want to see what the fuss is about, so check out your stream because you have artificially inflated the numbers, and then you have now occupied that viewer, which takes it from another streamer that is legitimately streaming.
So the reason why, and Charlie's explaining this in I think a good way, but you know, I think that it's very, very simple, right? It's so obvious. Streamers are aggregated by their view count. So the person with the most viewers is going to be at the top. So, like, if you're right here, it's better to be right here than it is to be right here, and it's better to be right here than it is to be right here, and it's better to be right here than it is to be right here. And so being closer to the top of the directory is beneficial for anybody who wants to grow their channel, and it's because Twitch has a snowball effect. And that's the way that it works. It's algorithm. It's basic. Lacey's botting. I don't know if Lacey's botting. I'm not gonna say Lacey's, but I don't know if Lacey's botting. I have no fucking idea. I don't care. Well, I do care. I think that if he's botting, they should get rid of the bots. The same as with everybody. But like, I don't know. Oh my god, I'm not gonna go and accuse Lacey of botting.
To an audience and a real community of people there to watch them instead of just an army of clankers. In fact, the argument kind of mirrors something from many moons ago when Twitch was still pretty new. I'm going to take you back to the past to talk about some titties and ass. There was a huge trend on Twitch for a while with something called booby streamers, if anyone remembers.
Elizabeth Guzman brought together Democrats and Republicans to increase police funding, expand Medicaid, and raise teacher salaries. Now, with Donald Trump attacking all of it, we need Elizabeth Guzman to stop him.
Get ready to rise with more shine. Introducing the all-new Sealy Posturepedic Collection, now at Ashley. Featuring precision-fit coils arranged right where you need them for targeted support, night after night. Sealy at Ashley. Wake up to what's next.
Yep. I remember booby streamers. I sure do. Yeah.
Remembers that, where there was a trend on Twitch where streamers would try and wear the most revealing clothing that Twitch would possibly allow in the most sexual of positions, and constantly putting cleavage as like the main hook to draw viewers in. And this drew a lot of outrage because people believed that by doing that, they were stealing viewers from their streams because they weren't showing cleavage and everything. It was a huge debate that raged on for years, actually, and people were always...
Is that not going anywhere? Well, anybody that's watched this stream for a long time knows exactly where that went.
On whether or not that was the case. Was this streamer with cleavage stealing a viewer from this guy over here who was building a brazen bull in Minecraft? Well, the jury was always out. But in this case, there is clear data, clear-cut, irrefutable evidence that viewbotting your streams and fucking leapfrogging your way ahead of everyone that is legitimately streaming with less viewers than you does actually steal the viewers from them.
It's
you are
undeniable.
directly competing in the exact same content,
Yes.
but you have now
Undeniable.
floated more visibly to the top through artificially inflating your numbers, fundamentally paying to win, and cheating the system.
True.
That 100% does take viewers away from the actual streamers on Twitch. Across the board. It's not a
Asmon, come over. See, bro, somebody says it and they show up.
really long period of time.
Right.
But it's not allowed. You're not supposed to be able to do that. So this, again, is not a debate. So, the problem is, that shit sucks. That is bad, not only for all the streamers that are doing it legitimately, but it's also bad for the platform. I'm actually kind of surprised Twitch doesn't face more hot water for their handling of bots for this long.
I'm surprised Twitch doesn't face more hot water, period. How is it that you can have both? Like, the thing is that if you think about the nutballs that are on Twitch, nothing ever happens. Nothing, it never happens. There's never an issue at all. And I would assume that, like, you would see way more crash outs about this. People are dying on Kick? Yeah. It's like, damn, Twitch, this guy said, wait, somebody died on Kick again? Wait, how many is it this week?
Because while Twitch on their back end can identify fraudulent traffic and adjust your ad revenue for it, that is something they've talked about before, how like
they can and they can't. It's not always, it's sometimes, and they also can only, like, this is mostly, this is a 80, I'd say 80% yes, but 20% no.
if you bot a stream up to 2 million viewers instantaneously and then just start farming ads, Twitch will go and analyze that traffic to see if it's real, and they will adjust your earnings on it. I've seen them talk about that. While Twitch can do that on their back end and not lose their ass on that, you know who can't? Brands that work with streamers. The way
That's right. He's so right about this. And the thing is that, give me a minute, I gotta use the bathroom. Whole platform uses the same method. They literally allow nefarious content. Nah. The thing is, the reason why they do it is that, like, I mean, I'm worried that Twitch, the leadership are gonna get fired for this. This is gonna be a Jesus situation. It's gonna be a Jesus situation because what's gonna happen is that the executives are gonna look and they're gonna be like, hey, why is the number red? It's supposed to be green, it's red. Get the fuck out of here. And then they bring somebody else in, and they're gonna do the same thing. I'll be right back.
brand partnership works when it comes to streamers is they base your pay on
how many viewers.
your metrics.
Partially true, but there's also a link that they can use to cross-reference and use telemetry to figure out in an aggregate the value of your sponsorship. And you've had more brands that are doing that. But yes, what he's saying is generally true.
Metrics that you provide, well, that's not going to account for bots. They can only go off the information that is accessible.
That's what I did.
And they don't have that back-end ability that Twitch has to go in there and see, well, who's a real viewer versus a fake one? Like, how many bots are here? They only have your metrics. So that's your average viewers, which could easily be hyperinflated because of bots. So what streamers can easily do, and definitely have done, is they boost all of their numbers to really high levels that they really are not achieving.
This is called the F Extra Life special. So there is a channel called F Extra Life on Twitch. What's funny is that I criticize them a lot. A lot of people criticize them. What ended up happening is that they stopped streaming on Twitch, and now the guy that does it makes great YouTube videos. He's great. I've watched a few of them. I think he's a nice guy. But they would have a fucking embedding, and the embed would give them like 30,000 views, and they'd be sitting there with a sponsor at the top of the directory. Like, how much money did you get from the sponsor? Do they know that, like, nobody's watching this shit? I mean, at what point is this fraud? I mean, in my opinion, this is my opinion, I'm not a lawyer. In my opinion, it is undeniably fraud. It's not even a question of if it's fraud. It's so obvious.
It's not real viewers, it is all fraudulent, invalid traffic from botting services they will inflate their viewer numbers. Then brands will approach them, or they will approach brands about doing a partnership or a sponsored stream.
And somebody might say, but I hate advertisers. I hate brands. I want them to get scammed. Fuck brands. Why would I care about brands losing money? That's you when your brain is the size of an egg. Now let's look at you whenever your brain is the size of a galaxy. When a sponsor cannot make money on the allocated effort that they have put into a sponsorship, they will then increase the amount of time and advertisement metrics that are required in order to recoup those losses. Which means that for you, dear viewer, you get to see more ads, more often, more intrusively.
They'll provide those viewer numbers, which will have the brand
call a second order effect,
and then give them higher pay than what they should be receiving. And the brand will pay this money under the impression that it's being...
You're saying ad block. No, you're not. We're talking about a sponsor. I'm not talking about like an ad block. Ad block stops like a YouTube ad. I'm talking about like a streamer doing a sponsored game. Like, okay, let me give you a functional example. Streamers have to play a video game now for 2 hours instead of 1. Okay? Like, is it... Jesus, how...
served to X amount of viewers. And those viewers, they're assuming, are real legitimate human beings with a pulse, but in reality, a lot of times, it's being served to bots.
Yes.
Aren't even there, aren't consuming it at all. So they're paying a lot of money to be put in front of bots without their knowledge.
They're being defrauded, and I think if they went to court, they would win.
In some cases, of course, that's not every case. As I mentioned earlier, there are some
I think it's indefensible. It's indefensible. There's no way that you can win this in court.
That have been accused of botting the sponsored stream itself in order to float more visibly to like Twitch in whatever category they're in. So there are definitely some brands that are more than fine with using botting services to make it seem like it's more hype and there's more interest in this sponsored stream.
Absolutely.
Like, wow, there's 20,000 viewers here to watch, you know, the poop that took a pee 2.0 just dropped. Look at all these people in here that are watching this sponsored stream. Meanwhile, it's the agency itself that is paying to boost those numbers. So,
and if you would refer back to the A in the graph, that A stands for agency.
both of these things happen, where a brand will be none the wiser that what they are paying for is not getting served to real human beings that they expect it to, it's getting served to bots. And there are some brands that pay to actually just use the bots to try and generate this artificial hype around something. The way that bots function in the Twitch ecosystem is fucking crazy. I really am kind of surprised Twitch hasn't faced more problems from these companies for it. Like companies that might feel defrauded. Like they paid hand over fist to these streamers based on these viewer numbers only to learn, well, they're all being botted because Twitch does not care about botting. They kind of gave the soft green light that they're not going to crack down on it and don't really give a fuck.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck. Exactly. And if you're a brand, you need to be thinking about, like, if you're a brand and you're still thinking about, I'm going to pay this streamer to play this video game, the only time that that's a good idea is when you're paying me. Besides that, horrible idea. Should never do it. You've got to be a little bit more creative than that.
I imagine some brands would be really pissed to learn that. And I'm surprised they haven't, like,
being honest,
called out Twitch or tried to handle this litigiously or something about
being
it.
honest.
I don't know, I just found that to be a little interesting because...
Trying to keep it real.
It is very clear botting is a huge issue on Twitch.
Yeah.
When they finally took their first real step in fighting against this menace, their overall platform viewership dropped 24%. Oof. And that's just the first snowball in an avalanche of bots, I imagine. That is the first wave. Can you imagine if Twitch actually deleted every bot from the platform? I wonder how high that percentage drop would have gone.
I'd have dozens of viewers.
You know what I mean? Now, in reality, I don't think that's ever going to happen.
No.
It's a very tall order to fight and delete every bot when these services are constantly going to be doing everything and spending tons and tons of money of their own to evade bot detection.
Yes.
Because they have so many clients that use them. There will probably always be bots on Twitch. Not only on Twitch, it's obviously on YouTube and every other streaming platform as well.
YouTube, it's less common for algorithmic reasons.
I understand that. And also, I feel as though Twitch might be apprehensive about this anyway. Like, if Twitch had a magic button that they could press it, and it would guarantee every bot and all invalid traffic would be banned on Twitch from this point forward and could never...
You guys want a conspiracy theory? I'm going to invent one right now. I'm going to make this up. What if Twitch is actually only stopping botting from channels that they don't want to represent Twitch on a large scale? So what if there are actually channels that are still botting, but because Twitch likes the PR that that type of channel brings to them, that they allow botting with that channel, but they disallow it with other channels? I'm not naming names.
Never return. It'd basically be like in K-pop Demon Hunters when they fully seal away all the demons, they can't return. If Twitch could do that right now, I think they would be very apprehensive about it, because we just saw them take one step in fighting bots, and they lost 24% of their viewer base over the last.
Imagine losing that much, bro. Like just in a week.
Days that it's been there. Like,
what would happen if you guys at your job, you caused the company to lose 24% of its customer base in a week? What would happen at your job? You guys get fired? Yeah, I think so.
That's a huge drop, and if they did it even harder, that number would only climb, and I imagine they would be worried about all of their brand partners starting to jump ship, like, oh no, Twitch is dying, look at this graph. You see how there's no more views, it's all dried up? Time to pull our ad spend from Twitch. I think they would be worried about the future.
I don't think that would happen particularly, but I do think that advertising on Twitch would be a harder sell, because you're going to deal with large brands that don't have as much competency in the space. And so they might not have, like, a lot of the, and this is the problem right now, is that, like, it looks like a lot of venture capital firms and investment firms have kind of fixed the glitch with this kind of stuff. And they have guys in there that are, like, probably around our age. And those guys really kind of know what's going on, and so they can tell bullshit from not bullshit. But with a lot of these advertising agencies, there's still a tremendous amount of top-down decision-making, and I think it's much more corporate in that way. And because of that, you have a degree of, even guys that know it's problematic, they know that at the end of the day, basically, like, how many of you guys work at a job where there's like 3 different levels of like your product cycle that are effectively malicious compliance, where you know that you're doing it wrong, but you're meeting a quota, and then the person that's above you knows that you're doing it wrong, but they're meeting a quota. Like, yeah, right? Exactly. Yeah, this is a huge problem.
Of Twitch if they did that, because their viewer count numbers would be so much lower, significantly lower, that they'd probably be getting hit financially pretty hard from all of these sponsors that are paying money to be put there. And brands don't really care about like the nuance of what the numbers say. They only care about what the numbers indicate. So most of the brands, I imagine, would see this. And in fact, some of them are probably already worried with the 24% drop.
Yeah.
But if it got even higher, some brands would probably see this, and they wouldn't take into account like it's all bot activity. They would see this and be like, nope, this is dangerous. This is not worth the ad spend. We're pulling out.
Yep.
And even if they did bother to take a little bit of time looking into it, they might feel slighted by Twitch for letting this bot problem persist for so long, and they were spending so much money for what...
So, in general, the advertisers that actually have contracts with Twitch, I'm speaking partially out of understanding and partially out of implication and assumption. Many bots do not actually see ads. So the amount of viewership that you get from ads doesn't necessarily go up at the same ratio that your bot numbers go up. So like if you bot to 100K viewers, it's not like your ad revenue immediately goes to 100K viewers ad revenue. Really? Yeah, because that's the way that botting works, right? And so like, and there's different ways that bots are counted, and that's the way that Twitch does this, right? They're A/B testing to remove different, impulses of like how that red number goes up or down.
Ultimately amounted to a lot of invalid traffic.
Yeah.
So I think Twitch would be really skeptical about getting rid of every bot, even if they could. Which is why I was so surprised that they went this hard out of the gate against the bots and actually did make a dent in it. And I hope they continue to do this. I hope that they didn't, like, you know,
they're gonna give
pump
up
the brakes like, oh, that was a lot. We took a big viewership
Twitch
hit
is
there
gonna give
from all
up.
this bot stuff. Let's maybe,
they're going to give up on botting. They're going to give up. I'm going to tell you why they're going to give up. They're going to give up because if people feel like they're losing too many viewers and they're not getting a lot out of Twitch, they're going to go to other platforms like Kick that allow these viewership inflations to happen. And basically, and Kick pays better, right? So like Twitch, one of Twitch's biggest competitive advantages is that they are the biggest pond. Even though they're still a small pond, they're the biggest small pond of live streaming. So if you don't have that, if you don't have that intrinsic value, then you're immediately going to have people going over to platforms like Kick and platforms like Rumble. Like the Kick incentive program is insane. Like a lot of people make, like, I mean, I'll tell you right now, like I've showed you my revenue from the Kick incentive program. It's a lot of money. So you've got a ton of people that are making money off of that, doing this constantly. And because of that, whenever Twitch doesn't have that competitive advantage of a bigger number and a larger ecosystem that you can exist in and then sell the sponsors, then Twitch loses that competitive advantage in the market, and they can run the risk of losing market share to other platforms.
Pull our punches a little bit here. I hope they don't go down that path. Like, I do hope they continue to make this a priority and do legitimately try and get as many bots off of Twitch as they possibly can. Anyway, that's enough blabbering about it from me today. That's about it. Yep.
Someone says Twitch is a business, the others aren't. I would argue that I don't know what Twitch's value is. Like I see that, but I haven't seen your balance sheets. I haven't seen the amount of money that Twitch actually generates for Amazon. And I don't know if Twitch is operating, like, because Twitch has a tremendous value as being the de facto website in the Western media space for live streaming. Like, this is a tremendous value that Amazon has intrinsically by market share, but operating at a loss. Yeah, so if Twitch is operating at a loss and Kick is operating at a loss, and then Twitch acts as a a loss leader for Amazon Prime, for Amazon TV shows, and for Amazon products, and as also an advertisement for AWS indirectly, then is it really that much different than Kick operating as a loss leader for Stake? At a business, morally, you could make many arguments about that, but from a business sense, it's all about data from signed-in viewers. Exactly, yeah. From a business sense, it's functionally the same thing, right? It's all about data from signed-in viewers. We got a Twitch staff in chat. Y'all need to fix that shit. Like, and I know you can't say it. I know you can't say it, but you might have a YouTube channel. Look at y'all. Amazon's analytics, y'all really are behind. And I know everybody at Twitch, everybody at the leadership, everybody in the executive, y'all know this. I don't know how y'all are letting this happen. How are y'all letting this happen? You're so behind on your analytics. And I know y'all are doing some things in the back end. I saw them a couple years ago, but man, I don't think you're keeping up. I don't see how people can get their money back advertising on Amazon products and on Amazon services versus Google AdWords. I'm just not seeing it. But I don't know. That's just that's my 2 cents. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe y'all fixed it. But that's just, you know, that's my 2 cents. And so, yeah, I don't know. Bad numbers. Yeah, exactly. You're letting the crazy stick with the silent? Well, no. I mean, like, I'm just saying in general, right? That's it. And, yeah, not my department. That's convenient for you. Good. All right, I'll link y'all the video, guys. That's the video. Obviously, you know, I love Charlie, watch his videos all the time. Make sure to give the video a like. I think he's right about what he's saying here. There's some like minor, like, you know, functional, like I think it's gonna be a little bit different than this or that. But overall, I agree with what he's saying here, absolutely. So, huge fucking W, and yeah, I totally agree with it. I think Twitch should do whatever they can. And anybody crying about it or getting mad about it is just a big sucker. That's all.
Every month, this Airbnb pays me in semi-passive income. Now, here's the thing. I don't own it, and I don't pay any rent. It doesn't even matter where you live, even if you're in a boring little town where almost no one travels to. And if you think I'm in here every single day, changing sheets, cleaning up after people, and messaging people on the app all day long, think again. So the question is this: how did I do it? Through a new method called Airbnb co-listing in conjunction with Zillow. Let me show you how it works. Step number 1, go to Zillow.com and type in your city. Step number 2, click on a property that's for rent. This property has been sitting on Zillow for the last 42 days, which means that the landlord is losing money and needs your help. Step number 3, copy the address. Step number 4, paste the address into the Airbnb Analyzer app and click this big blue.
The illegal migrant simulator.
よろしくよろしくふーんバイバイバイバイバイバイバイバイぴょんじゃあよいしょっと任せるので大丈夫よ大丈夫よできましたできましたよろしく